Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson about fitness, snacks, and drinks. I will profess that I am not an expert on this topic, although the other day when I was eating a protein bar and I saw someone drinking an energy drink, I thought, I better do a lesson on these things. So if you are into fitness, you've probably noticed that there has been this explosion in the number of things you can eat and drink to help you become more fit. Things that you eat or drink before a workout or after a workout. And I'll tell you that I don't really eat or drink all of these things, although I do eat or drink some of them. So welcome to this English lesson about fitness, snacks, and drinks. I think you'll enjoy it. You're probably familiar with this one, probably one of the most famous brands. But I think it will be a fun lesson, a little bit short, but I think a fun English lesson. Protein bar. So a protein bar is a snack bar. It's not a chocolate bar. It's not a candy bar. It's designed primarily to give you a lot of protein. Protein is one of the things we need to eat. We need to eat carbohydrates like sugars and starches. We need to eat fats like oils and actual fat from different things. And we need protein. Protein comes from soybeans or meat or eggs, or fish. Those are your primary sources of protein. And a protein bar tries to give you a lot of protein in a very small package. When you work out, your muscles need to heal. And in order to heal, your muscles need a lot of things. One of those things is protein. So you might eat a protein bar. This is actually the kind of protein bar that I eat sometimes. It's from Kirkland. I will admit, though, Jen, I think, eats more of them than I do. Jen works on the farm really hard and then sometimes likes to have a protein bar. So again, if you look at the bottom, you can see it has 21 grams of protein, a protein bar. And there's chocolate chip or chocolate brownie. They used to have cookies and cream flavor and peanut butter, but they don't anymore. The peanut butter was my favorite. Protein bar, a bar that's yummy and mostly gives you a lot of protein. A meal replacement bar. So this is a little different than a protein bar. A meal replacement bar will have more vitamins and minerals and some carbohydrates and fats and protein. It's designed for people who are really busy, who don't have time to eat. Maybe you worked till 5 o'clock and you have a meeting at 5:30 across town. You might eat a meal replacement bar before you head to your next meeting because you don't have time to eat a sandwich or to stop and have some noodles or something like that. So this would be kind of a meal. I don't think these are super healthy. If you're eating one of these every day, I'm not sure. I'm not a nutrition expert, but I'm not sure that would be a wise thing to do. But in a pinch, when you don't have time, you can eat a meal replacement bar. And then here is an energy bar. So the difference between a protein bar and an energy bar is an energy bar is going to give you a little more sugar. It's going to give you a little more instant energy. So an energy bar like this has egg whites, which are going to give you protein, peanuts, which are going to give you protein and some energy, and then a little bit of oats, which will give you long energy because it's a starch, and then honey, which is basically a very natural source of sugars to give you that boost. I have not tried these. I have a different variety of these. I have a chocolate kind, but this, honey, cinnamon, peanut butter. I'm not sure I like that flavor mix, but an energy bar designed to give you kind of like instant access to sugar and maybe starch to give you energy for what you are doing. By the way, a lot of the things I choose are the Canadian version, so they will have French on them as well, like blanc d'œuf, arachide, and other French labels, which is kind of fun. It's fun to live in Canada if you speak French or are learning French. A granola bar, this is not something that health and fitness people would necessarily eat, but this is the common thing that people will buy if they just want a quick snack that comes pre-wrapped and ready to eat. I thought I would add this because I think the granola bar was the first type of bar. And then eventually we had protein bars and energy bars and meal replacement bars. But this, maybe the chocolate bar, the candy bar was the first one. And this was supposed to be a more healthy version. But basically chocolate chips, oats, rice, and other things, maybe honey, in order to give you a quick snack that's easy to grab and eat. I usually eat one of this exact kind. I eat one or two a week. I'm not a big fan of granola bars, but I do like the chocolate that's in them. This is a protein shake, and this protein shake in particular is made based on milk. So there are a number of different kinds of protein shakes. So a protein bar allows you to eat protein. A protein shake allows you to drink protein. Now, if you just drink a cup of milk, there will already be protein in the milk. But there are things called protein shakes where they maybe filter the milk to make sure there's more protein in it, or they might add protein. I'm not sure how this kind is made, but the idea is that you shake it. So it's in the fridge, it's cold, and you shake it in order to get the chocolate all mixed in if it's chocolate flavored. And then you drink the protein shake to get your protein. So in this case, the source of protein would be a dairy-based protein. So it would be like, I think it's called whey, W-H-E-Y, but a protein shake, a yummy way to get your protein. By the way, I do like these, but they're really expensive. That's my main complaint about this particular kind of protein shake. The reason I like it is because it is lactose free. So if I drink regular milk, I get a stomach ache. I don't feel well. I am lactose intolerant. But this type of chocolate shake, somehow they've filtered out the lactose, and they've also put in an enzyme to help with that. Protein powder. I don't know anything about protein powder other than it comes in these really large cans, and people who work out so that they have huge muscles might use protein powder. They might put it in their protein shake. They might make their own protein shake. They might use it to bake things like cookies that are high in protein, or other things that like bread that's high in protein. They might put it into what we call a smoothie, which I'll talk about later. But protein in a can like this is usually from a variety of sources. It might be from milk. It might be dairy-based protein. It might be from plants. There are some plants that are high in protein, like soybeans or other pulse crops. But this is how you would get extra protein. It looks like this is milk chocolate flavored. So yes, if you were going to make a protein shake, this would probably make a very, very yummy protein shake. Energy drink. So just as there was a protein bar and an energy bar, there is protein shakes and energy drinks. By the way, we don't usually have protein drinks. We almost always have a protein shake, probably because that's the way they make it taste good. An energy drink then will give you energy. Now, this isn't necessarily just for fitness. You're probably familiar with all the different kinds of energy drinks in the world. One of the things that might make you think it's more unhealthy is they usually have other things in them like caffeine. So coffee is kind of the original energy drink. It has caffeine in it and it gives you energy. But there are more and more, I'm not sure if this one has caffeine in it, but there are more and more things called energy drinks like Red Bull, and there's other ones in the world that have sugar and caffeine and maybe other things in them to give you energy. So you might have an energy drink before you run a marathon. You might have an energy drink if you need to stay up all night studying for something. And then, I don't know if you have these in your part of the world. At the gas station, they have something called an energy shot, which is usually just a little thing, and it's mostly caffeine, I think. So hours and hours of energy, because this might have, something like this might have as much caffeine as 3 cups of coffee. And we would call that an energy shot, 5-hour energy. I've never tried these. I don't like having too much caffeine. So we have something called a sports drink. So a sports drink usually, of course, has water in it. And some of the other ingredients might be sugar, electrolytes. I'll talk about electrolytes in just a moment. I think it's the next slide. And it's meant to rehydrate you. So when you are active, you will sweat. As you sweat, you obviously are losing, you're becoming a little bit dehydrated because sweat is water. But as you sweat, you also lose other things. You'll notice that your sweat is salty. If you taste your sweat, like if you're sweating and it goes by your mouth, you'll notice it's salty because you are losing what we call electrolytes. So an energy drink will give you, a sports drink. We sometimes call these energy drinks as well, but mostly sports drinks because they don't have caffeine in them. It will give you some sugar. It will give you some salt. It will give you some calcium, maybe some magnesium, some potassium, and other things. So we call those things electrolytes. There are a number of minerals that you need in order for your body to work properly. And during exercise, I think maybe you lose some of them. Again, it's things like sodium, calcium, magnesium, potassium. I'm not sure what they all are, and I'm not sure what they all do. All I know is people who run a marathon, halfway through the marathon, they might drink some water, or they might drink something like a sports drink to replenish their electrolytes because they need to hydrate. So when you hydrate, you do this. You take some water, you sip some water. We usually use the verb to hydrate when talking about someone who has worked outside in the hot sun all day or someone who is exercising. We say, don't forget to hydrate. Don't forget to hydrate regularly. When we have a heat wave on the news, they'll say, drink plenty of water. Don't forget to hydrate. Don't forget to drink liquids so that as you sweat, either because of exercise or because it's hot outside, you are replenishing those liquids. It's good to hydrate. Now we have something called a smoothie. We also have something called a green smoothie. A smoothie is simply fruit and possibly other things like yogurt or oatmeal or milk that we put into a blender. And the blender has blades at the bottom and spins, and it creates something that you could drink. So if you wanted to make a smoothie, you could put a banana, some blueberries, some avocados, some strawberries, some peaches into a blender, and then a little bit of water, excuse me, a little bit of water, or maybe a little bit of milk, or maybe some yogurt. And then you turn it on and it chops everything up so fine that you can then drink it. So this is a fruit smoothie. I'm going to guess this has bananas, yogurt, blueberries. Not sure if there's anything else. It's kind of hard to tell once you see a smoothie. It's hard to tell what's in it. And then a green smoothie will probably have some fruit in it as well to make it sweet, but it will also have some green vegetables in it. A green smoothie might have spinach in it, for instance. I think these are actually spinach leaves at the bottom here. So you could just say this is a fruit smoothie and this is a green smoothie. But certainly once we add the word green, there are vegetables going into it as well. So this is probably healthier than this. And then the thing with smoothies is they do have a lot of natural sugar in them. They're yummy, but you have to remember that fruit has a lot of sugar in it as well. Natural sugar, but still make sure you account for that. This to me is like a really old type of health food. When I was a kid, I remember my uncle and aunt came over and they had a bag of trail mix. And they talked about how trail mix was very healthy. Trail mix, there's a number of different ways to make trail mix, but it's basically nuts and dried fruits. Like there's raisins and currants, and it looks like almonds in there, maybe some peanuts. Basically, it's a very dense form of energy. So trail mix has a lot of calories in it. If you eat 2 handfuls of trail mix, that's a lot of energy. And the reason it's called trail mix is I think people originally would take this if they went on a long hike, because it was a lot of food in a very, very small package, or at least a lot of food energy in a small package. So trail mix, there's some trail mixes have chocolate chips in them. Some have dried cranberries as well as other dried fruits. But you can even have dried bananas in your trail mix. Lots of fun. But my memory of this is like from the 1980s. When I was a kid, my uncle and aunt would have a big bag of trail mix. They would make it themselves. It was really yummy. So I don't know anything about these things. So apparently there is something called a pre-workout drink. So if you were a weightlifter and you went to the gym every day, you might use a pre-workout drink so that you have energy. I'm not sure what's in it, but this says it has 175 milligrams of caffeine. So that's going to give you energy. And then it gives you some sort of performance boost. Yes, I can't, let me get my glasses here. Can I make this one bigger? Yes, here we go. So Performalon, that's like a made up word. Performalon, in my opinion, is not a word. But at the bottom there, you can see 175 milligrams caffeine, 250 milligrams of Performalon. I don't use these. I don't know anything about them. I don't recommend them, or I can't recommend them. Maybe they're good, maybe they're bad, but it's lemon lime flavor, so that might be handy. So maybe you're going to go lift weights for 2 hours. You might have a pre-workout drink. After your workout, you might have a post-workout drink. I'm going to guess most post-workout drinks have a lot of protein in them. So here we have muscle milk, non-dairy protein shake, 40 grams of protein. That's like eating like 6 eggs, I think. So that's a lot of protein. But yes, after, it's called Knockout Chocolate. That's the flavor. Anyways, I don't know a lot about these, but after your workout, in order to allow your muscles to rebuild, you probably need protein. And apparently this is a good way to get it. Again, I'm not recommending any of these products. I'm simply teaching you English. Jerky. So it's kind of a funny word, but jerky is dried meat. It's salted, dried meat. So it is a source of protein, and it's also a source of salt. So in the world, there are different ways to preserve meat. You can freeze meat. You can, I guess you can freeze meat. You can keep it in the refrigerator for a short period of time, or you can dry meat. So when you dry meat, it becomes jerky. If you go to any gas station in North America, you can usually buy beef jerky. I don't think jerky is healthy. It has a lot of salt in it, but it is kind of tasty. So maybe you've worked out and you've done a lot of sweating and you need protein and you need salt. Jerky or beef jerky might be a source of protein and salt for you. Beef jerky. Yeah, if you've been to America, go to a gas station. There's a whole wall in most gas stations of some kind of jerky. Chocolate milk. So I'm going to get into, my last few slides are the things I can actually recommend. So I don't know if chocolate milk is super healthy, but it is milk. This particular brand has a lot of protein in it. I do like to drink chocolate milk as a source of protein. There is a little bit of sugar in it, of course, but yes, chocolate milk is one natural way to get what a lot of these energy products or protein products are trying to give you. Again, it does have milk and then chocolate and sugar, but pretty yummy. And can we say somewhat healthy? Like not good for you, but not bad for you, somewhere in the middle. These next things though, boiled eggs, a very natural source of protein and a lot of different vitamins and minerals. You make a boiled egg by putting an egg in water with the shell on, and you boil it for 7 or 8 minutes, and then you have what we would call a hard-boiled egg or a boiled egg. So I would think if you're looking for a natural source of protein and you don't mind eating eggs, if that's part of your diet, boiled eggs are a great place. The other benefit is boiled eggs, they're not fried in fat, like they're not fried in butter or oil. So it's simply an egg. So amino acids, proteins, a little bit of natural fats, and those types of things. So if you had a choice between a protein bar and eating 2 or 3 eggs, I would recommend you eat the eggs. Greek yogurt. So Greek yogurt is just a style of yogurt that happens to have more protein in it. It's made in a slightly different way. I don't personally know a lot about it, but if you can find plain Greek yogurt, so when we say plain, so good source of calcium, plain, that means that there's no sugar in it. So again, if you're looking for, let's say you've worked out and you want to replenish your body, you want to eat something that's healthy. If you are able to eat dairy products, I would recommend Greek yogurt, a good source of calcium. Not like regular yogurt in Canada is full of sugar. They actually say that like yogurt that has sugar in it in Canada is the same as eating ice cream almost. So look for something like a plain yogurt. And then I wonder if you'll be able to guess the next thing I would recommend. It's a banana. A banana is a great source of energy. There's a lot of natural sugar in a banana. It's a great source of potassium, one of the minerals or electrolytes that you need. My primary choice, if I was to, let's say I went for a 90-minute walk. When I got back from my 90-minute walk, I'm most likely going to drink some water and eat a banana. That's usually my choice. If I'm craving protein, I might actually have an egg or something like that. But bananas, what an amazing fruit. Of all of the slides in this lesson, this is the only one that I, what would it be? Endorse. I endorse this as a healthy thing to eat. There is a lot of natural sugar in it. So once again, thank you to all of you that live in countries that grow and produce and export bananas to Canada. I eat one every day. I'm going to keep doing that. I love them. And then water. So let's say you work out and you sweat a lot. I think water is a great way to hydrate. It is the most natural way to hydrate. So I know there are energy drinks and there are sports drinks and there are drinks where you can make your own drink by putting electrolytes in. But I think unless you are doing something extreme, like if I go for a 30-minute walk, I'm pretty sure I just need a banana and a glass of water after I go on that walk. So water, a great way to hydrate, a great way to recover from physical fitness, working out, running, and all those kinds of things.